Y'all, brace yourselves because this one is straight up insane. The cameras were rolling, the lights were on, and Doug Christie thought he was just stepping into another interview about his career, his life, and his future. But what he didn't know, what no one knew, was that a bomb was about to drop right in front of the world. Sources now confirm that Jackie Christie and Chris Webber tied the knot in a secret Las Vegas wedding ceremony. Completely off the radar, no press, no friends, no family. Just them, a quiet officiant, and a hidden agenda. But what's even crazier? Doug Christie found out about it during a live interview on camera, with millions watching his real-time reaction unfold. This isn't just drama, this is betrayal on a level that makes reality TV look tame. Jackie had been sneaking off, feeding Doug half-truths, while building an entirely new life behind his back. And now, with footage leaked and insiders spilling, we've got access to exclusive DMs, travel records, and even courthouse documents that paint a picture so wild, it'll leave your jaw on the floor. Keep watching, because this is the scandal that will burn everything to the ground. Everything seemed calm on the surface. Doug Christie walked into the studio for what he thought was a standard sit-down interview. He was prepped with the usual questions: his career in basketball, life after the NBA, and his evolving personal brand. But what was supposed to be just another media appearance turned into the worst day of his life. The host looked a little too tense. The crew, a little too quiet. And within minutes, Doug was blindsided with a question that froze him in his chair. "Doug, have you spoken to Jackie about her recent trip to Vegas with Chris Webber?" Doug laughed at first, awkwardly. The kind of laugh people give when they're caught off guard but trying to play it cool. Then the host dropped the real bomb. Because sources are saying they didn't just go for vacation, they got married. In secret. Doug's smile faded. His face dropped. You could feel the temperature in the room shift. The crew stopped moving. The cameras zoomed in closer. Doug stammered, asking for clarification. Visibly shaken, he kept repeating, "That can't be true. Jackie would never do that." But within seconds, producers brought out official marriage documents from Clark County, Nevada, stamped and dated just 3 days earlier. The name Jackie Christie was printed right next to Chris Webber. Doug's hands began to tremble. He pulled his mic off, but the audio was still live, and the world heard every breath, every whisper of disbelief. Now rewind a little. In the weeks leading up to this moment, there were whispers. Jackie had been seen boarding a private jet at Van Nuys Airport, reportedly heading to Vegas. She claimed it was for a business retreat, something to do with her skincare line. Doug didn't question it. Jackie had always been independent and ambitious. But there were holes in the story. She never checked into the spa resort she mentioned. Instead, sources confirmed she stayed at the Bellagio, in a penthouse suite. Chris Webber was spotted entering that same suite multiple times during that weekend. And on Sunday evening, a small private wedding took place in a tucked-away Vegas chapel known for hosting secret celebrity marriages. The officiant has now confirmed to reporters that he married a well-known NBA couple, and documents, sealed until now, have been leaked. Jackie signed using her legal name, but Chris Webber used a shortened alias, C.W. Martin, a name he's used before on travel records to avoid press. The couple was seen later that night having dinner in a private section of a luxury restaurant on the Strip, toasting champagne. According to one server, they were definitely celebrating something big. She was wearing a white outfit. He called her Mrs. all night. Back in L.A., Doug was completely unaware. Even Jackie's closest friends were stunned. One source said, "She told me she was going on a spiritual retreat. I had no idea she was going to marry Chris. I'm shocked. I thought she was still trying to work things out with Doug." So how did Jackie keep this under wraps? Apparently, Jackie and Chris had been in contact for months, ever since the fallout of the initial DNA scandal that nearly tore both families apart. After Chris Webber's baby mama publicly blamed Jackie for her breakup with Chris, things exploded in the media. Jackie publicly denied involvement, but what we didn't know was that Jackie and Chris had actually reconnected in private soon after the scandal broke. And it wasn't just emotional, it was romantic. Exclusive DMs showed Jackie telling Chris, "I've always loved you. I was just afraid of what people would think. but I'm done hiding. Another message reads, Doug doesn't see me anymore.
You always have.
Chris replied, let's stop pretending. We've wasted enough time. These DMs were sent just 1 week before the Vegas trip. Doug, meanwhile, had been under the impression he and Jackie were rebuilding. He was posting loving captions about his wife, speaking at events about loyalty and family. He even mentioned on a podcast that he and Jackie were in a better place. But clearly, Jackie had already moved on. When Doug was shown the messages live on air, his silence said it all. He simply stared at them. He didn't even ask for context. The betrayal was written across his face. But the pain didn't end there. After the broadcast, social media exploded. Jackie and Chris Married trended within minutes. Fans were divided. Some were shocked. Some said they saw it coming. Others defended Jackie, saying maybe she had been hurting too. But the ones who were angriest? Doug's supporters. They flooded Jackie's social media, demanding answers. Many questioned how she could do something so dramatic, so final, without even telling the father of her children. One fan commented, "This ain't a movie, Jackie. This is a man's life you just blew up on camera." Meanwhile, Chris Webber hasn't commented publicly, but was seen flying out of LAX the next morning, headed back to Miami where he's currently based. Paparazzi caught him grinning, but when asked about the marriage, he just said, "No comment. Let Jackie speak." Jackie, for her part, finally posted a cryptic Instagram story hours later. A black screen with just one sentence. "I deserve happiness too." Was this marriage a calculated move? A revenge play? Or had Jackie and Chris simply found love again in a place where no one was looking? Either way, this secret Vegas wedding just shattered every truth we thought we knew. And Doug? He's been quiet since.
Silent. No tweets.
No stories. Just gone. But that silence might not last long, because what's coming next will shake this story even harder. The shocking revelation on live TV whispers began swirling behind closed doors. Those closest to Jackie, Christie, and Doug were scrambling to piece together what had really been happening in the weeks leading up to the surprise Vegas wedding. But one thing was clear, Jackie hadn't made this decision overnight. In fact, sources now say that Jackie and Chris Webber had been planning the wedding for nearly a month, and it all began with a late-night meeting caught by paparazzi outside a luxury Beverly Hills restaurant. Jackie had reportedly requested a private dinner with Chris to discuss unfinished business. That business, it seems, was far more intimate than anyone knew. An eyewitness reported seeing them leave together in the same car, headed back toward the hills. From there, the timeline becomes even more suspicious. Over the following days, Jackie was spotted at a boutique bridal shop in West Hollywood. She claimed she was shopping for a friend's wedding, but now insiders say she was trying on dresses herself. Employees from the shop have come forward anonymously, confirming Jackie purchased a white silk gown under a pseudonym just 2 days before her flight to Las Vegas. As if that weren't enough, another layer of secrecy was exposed when surveillance footage from the Bellagio lobby surfaced. It clearly shows Chris helping Jackie out of the car, holding her hand as they walked toward the elevator around 11 p.m., the night before the wedding. But why Vegas? Why secrecy? And why now? Insiders claim Jackie had grown tired of her half-in, half-out relationship with Doug. Despite years of history, she allegedly felt that Doug had emotionally checked out. And while Doug was publicly promoting their love, Jackie was privately growing colder, more distant. She reportedly told one friend, "Doug's love is for the cameras. Chris, he's real. He fights for me in private." Even more shocking, Jackie and Chris had been spotted together months earlier at a Lakers game, seated a few rows apart. But according to one security officer, they left the stadium together, slipping into a private SUV parked in a restricted zone. Doug had no idea. But let's rewind to the night of the live interview one more time, because it turns out that moment wasn't as spontaneous as it seemed. A producer has now come forward, revealing that Jackie herself knew the segment would air. She had allegedly signed off on the release of the marriage documents earlier that day and was given the option to tell Doug privately. She refused. The reason? Sources say Jackie wanted to control the narrative. She didn't want whispers, rumors, or speculation. She wanted impact. She wanted everyone, including Doug, to know the truth all at once. And that wasn't the only bombshell. Right after the interview, as Doug exited the studio, cameras caught him being handed an envelope by a legal assistant. It was a formal separation notice Jackie had filed before going to Vegas. The marriage to Chris was not only intentional, it was legally premeditated. That move stunned even Jackie's inner circle. One longtime friend said, "I knew she was hurt by Doug, but to go this far, to leave him on camera and then serve papers right after? That's another level." But while fans were still digesting the chaos, another player entered the game. Chris Webber's ex, the mother of his child. She took to Instagram Live that night, visibly upset, and dropped even more receipts. According to her, Jackie had been a shadow figure in her relationship with Chris for years. She claimed Jackie and Chris had a thing even back when he was dating her publicly. "I always knew there was someone else," she said. "But I didn't think it was Jackie. Not her. Not the wife of another man." She showed screenshots, late-night texts, flirty DMs, even one message where Jackie reportedly told Chris, "I can't wait until the world knows we belong together." It was dated months ago. Now questions are being raised about Chris's intentions, too. Was he playing both sides? Was this a sudden romantic gesture, or something far more calculated? Even Doug's camp is starting to speak out. His cousin, a former assistant, posted a cryptic message on Twitter. "Sometimes betrayal doesn't come with a warning. Sometimes it walks in wearing a white dress." Doug, for his part, has remained silent. But those close to him say he's devastated. One insider shared, "He feels humiliated, not just as a husband, but as a man." He thought Jackie was still his partner. This hit him like a truck. And now, legal complications are beginning to unfold. Since Jackie filed for separation in California and married in Nevada, lawyers are analyzing whether the union with Chris is even valid yet. If Jackie and Doug's legal separation wasn't finalized before the Vegas ceremony, it could mean that Jackie is technically still married to Doug, making her Vegas marriage invalid and possibly criminal. That twist could put everything Jackie's done into question. And Doug's lawyers are reportedly preparing to challenge the legality of the marriage while launching a countermotion to protect his name and assets. But the fallout isn't just legal, it's personal. Jackie and Doug share years of public memories, reality TV appearances, interviews about their love story, business ventures branded around their relationship. All of that is now in flames. One former castmate from their reality TV days commented anonymously, "This isn't just a scandal. It's a legacy burned down." Jackie always wanted to be seen as the queen of loyalty. Now she's the face of betrayal. Meanwhile, fans are still reeling. Social media has become a war zone of opinions. Some praise Jackie for choosing happiness. Others call her selfish, manipulative, and reckless.
She did Doug dirty.
"No excuses," one fan wrote. Another responded, "If he wasn't treating her right, maybe she had to make a move." We don't know what goes on behind closed doors. Still, there's one undeniable truth. This scandal has flipped the narrative on every public image these three people worked to build. Chris Webber, once the quiet one avoiding drama, is now at the center of a media storm. Jackie Christie, who once branded herself as a devoted wife, is now being labeled a runaway bride with no regard for loyalty. And Doug Christie, long viewed as the unshakable professional, is now a man trying to survive the most humiliating moment of his life. But the story isn't over yet, because hidden sources are now teasing even more shocking details, including what happened the night before the wedding and why Jackie allegedly forced the officiant to sign a non-disclosure agreement. And if that's true, then Part 3 is about to uncover the real reason Jackie rushed into this marriage and the dark secret Chris Webber's been hiding this whole time. Corrected script, brand and mental health, and with their joint assets, businesses, and reputation all tangled up in this mess, the situation has turned from scandalous to litigious. Meanwhile, Chris Webber hasn't escaped the fallout either. New leaks suggest that Chris wasn't being entirely honest with Jackie. Remember that ex who claimed Jackie had been in the picture for years? Well, she returned to social media with receipts of her own. This time, it wasn't texts, it was audio recordings. In one clip, Chris can be heard talking to a friend, expressing doubts about marrying Jackie. "I don't know, man," he says. "She's intense, like, really intense. I'm not sure I can handle it long term." Another audio file appears to reveal that Chris was still seeing his ex as recently as a week before the wedding. If that's true, then Jackie may have rushed into a marriage with someone who wasn't even fully committed. But wait, it gets messy, eh? A leaked document from a Vegas courthouse confirms that Jackie filed for a marriage license using her maiden name, potentially to avoid automatic red flags during the registration process. It's a small detail, but one that now has lawyers questioning the legitimacy of the entire marriage. One legal expert explained, if Jackie misrepresented her identity or failed to disclose her active marriage to Doug at the time of filing, this Vegas wedding could be nullified on technical grounds. If that happens, Jackie's plan may completely backfire, and Chris could walk away with zero legal obligation to her. Worse, Jackie could end up in legal jeopardy for filing false documents. At this point, the web of lies, betrayals, and secrets is so tangled that even longtime friends of the trio are publicly walking away. A former co-star from Jackie's reality show days posted a cryptic video on Instagram. Y'all think it's just drama?
Nah.
This was a setup from the jump. Some people will sell their soul just to stay relevant. So, where does this leave Doug? Sources say he's in recovery mode, both personally and professionally. Friends close to him say he's devastated, but focused on moving forward. He's reportedly hired a PR team to help manage the fallout and is already in talks for a new TV project centered on starting over after public betrayal. Doug's camp is also working overtime to protect his financial interests, with Jackie potentially violating their prenuptial agreement by marrying another man before their separation was finalized. Doug's team is seeking to freeze all joint accounts and block Jackie from making any withdrawals until the court can sort things out.